You tilled your fall beds last year and paid for it all spring. More weeds, more watering, and harvests that came late and light. Meanwhile, one simple fall system can cut weeds by about 90%, reduce watering through 30 to 50%, and give you 1 to 2 extra cuttings of greens at plus 0.3 to 0.5 pounds per square foot. The problem isn't you, it's the system you were taught. Tilling fall beds bleeds fertility, dries soil, and delays spring harvests. It aerates everything at once, wakes up weed seeds, and burns off organic matter right when winter biology should be building it. You're starting the next season in a hole. Here's the system that flips it. It's 5 moves, in order. No tilling. Use biology and seasonal logic in zones through 7 to 10. If you're colder, add a little time. If you're hotter, add a little water.
Fall chop and drop. Your old move was ripping plants and burying the soil. The new move is cut at the base and leave the residue on top. You take your finished summer crops, cut them at ground level, and let everything fall right where it grew. Stems, leaves, roots left into soil. No pulling, no exposing bare dirt. Why it works? Those roots hold soil structure and become food lanes for microbes. As they decompose, they leave channels that act like rebar and mini drain pipes. The residue on top is a blanket. It buffers temperature swings, slows evaporation, and feeds fungi that pull nutrients out of dead material and into your next crop. In zones 7 through 10, that residue starts breaking down in 4 to 8 weeks in autumn temperatures. It's active composting, not rot. If you're in a colder zone, expect it to run longer. Warmer zones may go faster but will need moisture to keep it cooking. Chicken tractor pass. Your old move was letting birds free range everywhere, or bringing in a tiller to clean up. The new move is to confine chickens on a bed for a short, targeted pass. You run a chicken tractor or a simple hoop and net and give the birds 3 to 5 days per bed. Aim for 3 to 5 hens per 100 square feet. Why it works? Chickens are nutrient cyclers. They shred residue, peck pests, and knock back weed seeds. Their manure jumpstarts the nitrogen side of decomposition. Confinement matters. 3 to 5 days is enough to scuff the surface, sanitize pests, and deposit manure without pulverizing the soil into dust. You get a clean, microbially primed surface without a blade in the ground.
Compost-Mulch Cap. Your old move was mixing everything together randomly or leaving soil exposed through winter. The new move is a clean cap, 0.5 inches of compost, then 3 to 4 inches of mulch. You measure compost. For every 100 square feet, 0.5 inches is 4.2 cubic feet. Spread it evenly over the chopped residue and chicken scratch surface. Then lay 3 to 4 inches of mulch over that, leaves, clean wood chips, straw, or a mix. Keep it coarse enough to breathe. Why it works. The compost layer is your nutrient interface. It seeds the surface with biology and minerals in a form plants and microbes can use. Half an inch is enough when you're feeding microbes, not fighting them. The mulch locks the compost in place, conserves moisture, and blocks light to weed seeds. At 3 to 4 inches, you cut weed pressure by roughly 90% and reduce watering needs by 30 to 50%. That's how you buy back time and water in spring. Compost below, mulch above creates a stable temperature and moisture zone where fungi and bacteria run all winter. They digest residues and stick soil particles together into crumbly structure. Moisture set. Your old move was leaving winter to chance and hoping rain would do the job. The new move is 1 deep soak after capping, then a light weekly check through winter. Right after you cap with compost and mulch, give the bed a deep soak. Then, through winter, if you don't get rain, give it a weekly drink. Not a flood, just enough to keep the biology awake. Why it works. Decomposition is a biological burn. It needs oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, and water. You've got oxygen in the pores, carbon in the residue and mulch, nitrogen from manure and compost. Now you set the water. In zones through 7 to 10, winter is mild enough for microbes and fungi to stay active. Moisture keeps them processing for months, turning this fall's trash into next spring's fertility. Colder zones stretch the interval and don't force water into frozen soil. Wait for thaws. Hotter zones watch edges and wind. You may need smaller, more frequent sips to keep that cap humid. 5. Spring plant through. Your old move was tilling again to warm the beds. The new move is pull mulch into rows and plant into the composted zone. No tilling.
When it's time, you rake mulchicide into neat lanes. Underneath is that compost-rich surface. That strip warms faster than bare soil because it's dark, aerated, and already alive. Plant directly into it, then push the mulch back up close to the stems for a clean start. Why it works. You're not disturbing the fungal networks and soil aggregates that took all winter to build. You preserve the oxygen and water channels from last year's roots. The exposed compost row warms earlier than a cold, compacted, tilled field. You get earlier planting and earlier harvests without losing moisture. The mulch lanes keep weed pressure low and the bed hydrated as temperatures rise. That's the system. Chop and drop, chicken pass, compost and mulch, set moisture, plant through. Here's the biology and logic tying it together.
Residues feed microbes first, not plants. Microbes digest complex carbon into simple nutrients. Chickens add a nitrogen pulse and knock pest cycles down. The compost layer seeds diverse organisms and nutrients at the surface. The mulch stabilizes temperature and moisture so those organisms can run. Moisture is the throttle. Spring plant-through avoids resetting the whole system with a tiller. Now the loop. This is why it gets easier and bigger every season if you stop tilling in fall. Residues feed micronutrients. Healthier soil grows more biomass for next chop and drop. Every season you're building more raw material on site. More biomass means thicker winter blankets and faster spring ramp-up. Mulch suppresses weeds. Less disturbance multiplies soil life. Decomposition speeds up each season. With fewer weed emergencies, you stop ripping soil open. Fungi built the long threads that move nutrients between residues and roots. The system compounds.
Moisture conserved over winter, earlier planting, earlier harvests create more residues to restart the cycle. When you harvest earlier, you free beds sooner for the next round of chop and drop, and the loop keeps feeding itself. Numbers make this real. Chickens, tuba de ba hens per 100 square feet for tuba de ba days. That's a light controlled pass. Enough manure to prime, not enough to pulverize. Compost, 0.5 inches is 4.2 cubic feet per 100 square feet. Measure it once. Your wallet will thank you every year you don't over-apply. Mulch, tuba de ba 4 inches. Expect around a 90% cut in weeds under that blanket, and tuba de ba 50% less water needed as temperatures climb.
Residue breakdown to 4 to 8 weeks in zones to 7 to 10 autumn temperatures. If you're colder, give it more time and keep the moisture in play. If you're hotter, watch moisture so it doesn't stall. Spring greens, plan on 1 to 2 extra cuttings and roughly 0.3 to 0.5 pounds per square foot when you hit this timing. That's what earlier warmth and fewer weed interruptions buy you. Common objections answered quickly. But I need to clean the bed. You just did, biologically. Chickens sanitize pests and knock seed loads down. Mulch blocks the rest. You get clean rows when you pull mulch back in spring. Won't the mulch keep things too cold? The rows you plant into are compost-rich and dark. They warm faster than a tilled, compacted field. The mulch on the sides holds the heat at night and the moisture by day.
Isn't tilling faster? Once. Then you spend spring fighting weeds, irrigating, and refertilizing. This system moves the work to fall and winter, so spring is plant and harvest. Time shifts from firefighting to building. What to watch for by climate. Zones to 7 to 10, you're in the sweet spot. Biology stays active most of winter. Keep moisture steady, and you'll see residue melt into crumb within 4 to 8 weeks. Colder than 7, clip, cap, and water on thaws. Give it more time. You still get the wheat suppression and moisture savings, and your spring rows will warm faster than tilled dirt. Hotter than 10, same system, but treat moisture like a schedule. Light, regular sips keep fungi running under the mulch. Shade-sensitive crops will love those cool, moist lanes. Start this week. Simple steps.
Stop. Do not till your fall beds. Chop and drop. Cut plants at the base, leave roots in, lay residue right on the bed. Chicken tractor pass. Confine 3 to 5 hens per 100 square feet for 3 to 5 days. Let them shred pests and seed heads. Move them off before they pulverize. Compost-Mulch Cap. Spread 0.5 inches of compost, 4.2 cubic feet per 100 square feet, then 3 to 4 inches of mulch across the bed. Moisture set. Give 1 deep soak right after capping. Through winter, if rain doesn't show up, give the bed a weekly drink to keep the biology active. Spring plant through. When it's time, pull mulch into rows, plant into that composted strip, then tuck mulch back up to the plants. Never till fall beds. Chop, chickens, compost, cover. Build soil in fall, double spring harvests.